Okay, would everybody please take their seat?
So, because I'm only one person, I can't get that working without feedback, so I've turned off the speaker. This is going to go direct to the camera only. Is that okay? Best I can do on a budget. You know?
Okay, would everybody please take their seats? Thank you. And would you all please check to make sure that your mobile phone is turned off? We will have a break at 10:15 where you can check your phones, and another break at noon for lunch. I'm talking into the microphone for the camera, but it actually doesn't work without feedback to speak to the live audience that are here. So if you can't hear me, just shout out, "Can't hear," and I'll try to talk louder. I want to start by welcoming everybody. Those of you that are on live stream and those of you that made the trip here, welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Linda Johnson. I have been involved in obedience and tracking and in endurance over the past 20 years in Australia and also in the United States and Canada. From my own personal experience in Australia and particularly in Victoria, we have the best facilities in the world, including our library, which is open till 2 o'clock today, and these facilities here and at Bulla. We have the best clubs, some of the best instructors, and the best judges for sure. So we're very privileged to have the best opportunities in the world, in my opinion, in obedience. OTEC, the Obedience Tracking and Endurance Committee, of which I was a member for 2 years, is very pleased to be able to add value to that which you've learned on your own or through your clubs. We're very pleased to be able to offer you some additional tools to add to your toolbox. We do this in order to assist you in training your own dogs and to help other people train their dogs. And for those of you that want to prepare to be assessors, master assessors, or master instructors or instructors for Dogs Victoria, this will help you and give you another or some more tools in understanding. I have become a master assessor and a master instructor, and the process is very enjoyable, so I hope you have fun and have a good time today. Your first speaker is probably someone who doesn't like to self-promote, but I would say probably part of royalty of dog obedience. Lee Cogley, she's making a face or a grimace. This is not what she wanted me to say, but it's my experience of her. She's been around for 52 years. She started when she was, what, 1? She's been a Dogs Victoria member for how many years? 50? Wow. She's one of the most experienced and skillful people we have in the dog world. Not only could she train her own dogs, but she's helped every breed of dog I think there is, and every type of person train their dogs as well. She's being assisted today by Bobbin, who has been accredited by the National Dog Trainers Foundation of Australia, and he's also a very successful breeder and importer of German Shepherd dogs. So thank you so much again for being here, and hope you enjoy your day. I'll turn you over to Lee.
I won't use that. No, I won't use that. That's okay. Well, hi everybody. This is the second in a series of lectures for Dogs Victoria, and I have a misstatement on the paperwork that says in 2 short weeks of time. That's not absolutely correct. However, it's impossible to cover everything that we want to do in just the short time frame that we have. So we're going to take 1.5 hours to condense a 2-day puppy seminar. So bear with us because there will be little things that we'll have to skim over. All right, so puppies and puppy training are the cornerstone of producing, raising and living with all adult dogs. It all starts here. From planning to conception, whelping, raising puppies starts with a breeder who chooses the best sire and dam, then thoughtfully whelps a litter with the aim of furthering and enhancing that breed of dog according to that breed standard. We were going to show you a small video entitled From Tongue to Tail by Andy Mead, which shows you in slow motion how every part of the dog works when it simply jumps down from the tailgate of your car. We're just having a little technical difficulty, so we may have to show that at the end. But it's a graphic illustration of why we breed sound, healthy dogs and why we raise them in the best possible way that we can. All right. Why is this included in a puppy lecture? The synergy of raising a puppy is inclusive of having a pup that is healthy, well-bred, well-fed, well-raised, and here's the big one, exposed to all the stimuli that creates an adult dog who is a joy to live with for all of its life. We have animal shelters full of dogs that are rejects, and that is the saddest thing in the universe, that we are not raising puppies to be the best they absolutely can be. Rachel Page Elliott has an excellent book called Dog Steps in our wonderful Laurie Luxmore library, and a DVD called Canine Cineradiography, which has a dog on a treadmill with an X-ray machine attached to it, and you can see every movement of every piece of bone in the dog's body. So it's very much well worth a look at both of those in our amazing library. Why is this important? When you know what the end game is, it becomes easy to envisage a series of events. What it is, why it is, and how it is. You'll hear me say that a lot of times. Okay. My personal ethic is to feed as close to natural as I can. Dogs are carnivores and omnivores, but they're not herbivores. They eat plant food, certainly, but they're not vegans. It's just vegan vegetables is not the basis of their diet. They are omnivores and carnivores. They thrive on a range of food that is close to their ancestral diet. Our excellent library has information on bones and raw feeding and covers the range of foods applicable to our dogs. Manufactured food, when chosen wisely, often forms the basis of most puppies' diet. So do your research. Choose carefully when raising your precious puppy. You can't go back and do it again if you make a mistake. When to bring puppy home? Why is this important for training your puppy? Most people acquire a puppy at 8 weeks. There are many anecdotes about the difficulty of settling puppies into their new homes, crying in the night, adjusting to leaving their siblings, and the shock of changing their environment. If there is an in situ dog, that can cause complications with jealousy or refusal to comfort a puppy. Therefore, a stress load is placed on the puppy. If there is an in situ dog that takes on the role of mother easily, life is so much easier, both for the humans and the canines. Not too many sleepless nights. At 9 weeks, which is my preferred time to acquire a puppy, that puppy is so much more advanced socially and independently. Of course, there are many variables. Let's just say that my preference is for 9 weeks, which takes away a lot of stress on your new little one. When do you start training? Training starts from the moment you bring your puppy home. My preference is to take puppy into the backyard. As you arrive home, have a piece of food in your pocket, wait until the puppy runs around and then toilets, say yes in a bright, happy tone, and pair the yes with the feed your puppy straight away. The puppy is making one of the most early connections it can possibly make. Plan to stay in the yard for a little longer to let puppy stretch its legs and sniff around, investigating the new environment. It is now good to come into the house. Toilet training is a very much discussed thing. As this is the first behaviour you will train, it is important to make a connection from the beginning. Set your kitchen timer for 1 hour. The rules to take puppy outside are, if puppy has a sleep, even for a moment, even if they just slow down and start to relax, that's the time you take the puppy outside. Take the food in your pocket, say yes when the puppy toilets, and bring the puppy back inside. Number 2 is if puppy is playing excitedly. I had a German Shorthair Pointer bitch, baby puppy, who would start to toilet at the top of the hall and finish at the bottom. So if I didn't pick her up pretty quickly, I was going to have a lot of vacuuming and cleaning to do. If puppy drinks water, as soon as they ingest any water, they tend to do one in and one out. When the puppy eats, no longer than 1 hour. Space it. If you do more than an hour inside and you haven't taken the puppy out, that's when your kitchen timer is going to tell you to take your puppy out. And if puppy runs in circles, you know what that means. That's imminent. So take puppy outside. Wait until it toilets. Say yes and feed the puppy. Maintain the 1 hour rule that you ask, do you want to go outside? Inflection is outside, not do you want to go outside? You don't need to punish the puppy, you need to be optimistic. Emphasise happily outside and take puppy out. That's a walk, wait, finally catch the puppy when it goes to the toilet and mark it and reinforce it. Leave a jar of dried puppy food near the door so that you can take it on the way out. My preference is outside, but whatever word you choose, have a family conference, come up with the same consistent word. Within 24 hours, it is possible to totally toilet train your puppy if you work at being consistently observant. Now that toilet training is underway, what do we train next? Most individuals teach puppy to sit. It's cute. Sit before dinner is popular for control, and it is cute to observe how quickly puppy catches on. Use a release word, for example, dinner, eat it, okay, whatever word you choose to use. However, think about how those words interact in your normal life. Avoid creating confusion from the beginning. Be clear and be consistent. Use simple, clear cue words for everything that you do. Very next thing that I would do is to start crate training. Crate training is your absolute friend when things get out of control in your house and you need your puppy just to be nice and calm. Crate makes life easy. There are many times when a crate is effective in taking appropriate care of your dog. During a children's party where unsupervised activity becomes boisterous, your dog can become agitated, overexcited or anxious. A crate is a safe place and a comfortable place for your dog to relax and prepare to be the star of the show. Crates are not cages. Crates suit dogs that need to be in a place where his or her back is safe from intruders coming up from behind unannounced. Most dogs will come to love being in a crate and will choose to go there for rest and relaxation or to simply curl up and be peaceful. Crates are never to be used as punishment or if you fail to train your dog to be well integrated in your household. I'm not going to read through the whole crating procedure because you're going to get that in your notes. All right, so we now move to training. Take advantage of early learning development periods, makes crate training a breeze for most puppies. Okay, I've just lost my place. I'm going to go on to a puppy checklist. Take advantage of early learning periods to expose puppy to the many experiences that will shape how your puppy grows. Once the 5-month period has elapsed, you cannot go back and do this again. Puppy socialisation continues after 5 months. For all of its life, however, the window is only open for major and easily learning until then. All that follows is experience. Puppies remember friends from those times, from many long years after. Take advantage of the window, despite poor weather, as you cannot go back and do it again. If we can have the 2 puppies get organised, ready to come in now. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read you from a checklist of things to do with your puppy. Now, this is not a definitive study. These are prompts for you to remember that you do not just let the puppy acquire experience all on its own. The puppy needs to experience people of all varieties. I mean very large people, people wearing coats, people wearing glasses, every size and shape. I had one particular dog who really was worried about very tall men. My husband was very tall, so I'm not sure what the connection was. Maybe it was his fault. Children make loud noises. They run and they squeal and they play toys. Loud noises are a big one. Shopping trolleys, baby crying, having their toenails cut, handling their body, checking for teeth and feet. Obstacles, small dark places where the puppy has to negotiate, umbrellas, strollers, lawnmowers, hairdryers, a lot of sound in there. Skateboards for particularly your herding breeds who just latch onto a skateboard and want to go play. Texture underfoot. If your dog only ever walks on one surface and you change the surface, you'll find that your puppy will stop and have to think about that. So do this early. Those that do agility, you have particular equipment that has different surfaces on it. So always texture underfoot. Vet offices. The vet won't mind if you bring your puppy in and out the vet surgery with a pocket full of food, take it in, let the puppy experience the vet surgery and then take it back out again. Wait a couple of minutes, go back in, take it out again. So when you do have to go to the vet, it's not a traumatic experience for your puppy. Wheelchairs, high traffic areas, TV, loud and soft. Take your puppy swimming. Get your puppy used to other animals. So if you have a neighbour who has guinea pigs, rabbits, pigeons, birds, whatever, ask the neighbour if you can bring your puppy in and show the puppy what happens. Large dogs, people with glasses, markets. Markets are a fantastic place to really socialise your puppy, but you do need to control what people do. They will rush up and go, you've got a puppy, and swarm all over it. So stop, just stand still, I'll bring the puppy up to you. And then ask them not to swarm over the top of your puppy and overwhelm it. Large dogs. Large dogs can be quite confronting for some small puppies. If you think about the size of the puppy in, let's say, a Mastiff, puppy's going to be looking up going, oh my, isn't that big? So again, you manage that interaction. Cars are a common thing that the puppy will experience. Front doorbells. Some dogs become obsessive with the doorbell. Take your puppy to the football. Ask permission from the club, but let your puppy hear the whistle of the umpire. Let your puppy hear the roar of the crowd. Do it from a distance. Desensitise your puppy gently and slowly until your puppy is really comfortable. You need to be able to brush your dog. Shopping centres are absolutely fantastic. There's trolleys and there's banging and there's loud announcements and there's cars moving around. Other dogs need to see small dogs as well, and they need to see people with hats. They need to see trains, so go down to the local train station from a distance. Be very careful about how you do this. Don't flood your puppy. They need to see buses. Buses have pneumatic doors that go psh, bang, so your puppy needs to experience that too. If you live in the city, they need to experience being around trams. They need to see people approach in a creepy fashion. Some people, when they see a puppy, if they're not confident, they will go into themselves and be clearly creepy and afraid. So your puppy needs to experience that while you're madly feeding the puppy. Vacuum cleaners are a cause of much discussion. Being restrained. You should be able to pick your puppy up and just hold it gently without the puppy struggling and trying to get down. So if you practice that, pick the puppy up, put it down. Pick the puppy up, put it down, hold it for a bit longer. And a loud approach. So have your children laugh, run, scream, run towards the puppy, stop, go back. Always at a manageable level where your puppy is comfortable. All right, 10 reasons your dogs may develop behaviour problems, starting from puppies. A solid foundation in positive training gets you off to a great start. Training has to be more than just a foundation, especially if there are any undesirable canine behaviours on the scene. Consider the whole picture when it comes to behaviour problems and review the most common reason a dog behaves badly. Understanding the common explanations for behaviour problems is the first step in solving and preventing those problems. Number one is not enough exercise. Dogs need physical exercise to be happy, and on-lead walks around the block are not usually sufficient. I would caution you to be very careful in dog parks. I don't think I have ever taken a puppy of mine to a dog park where there's unleashed activity, where I can't control the interactions of other dogs and other people. KCC Park's a fantastic venue for you to bring your dog down on lead. Unless it's being trained for obedience, it's not supposed to be off the lead, and you should have a very good recall before you let your puppy off. The most horrific circumstance anybody can imagine is seeing your dog head off over the hill, and you have no control and you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, not enough mental stimulation. Puppies need to be challenged all the time. They need unique new things. They need puzzle toys that help them try and figure things out. They need to be not bored, and we need to keep puppies out of mischief, which is the synergy between crating and bringing your dog out. Health issues can cause solid behaviour issues more than most people realise. Health issues are often missed. A dog does not have the words to tell you. Health issues that can change your dog's behaviour include arthritis, hip dysplasia, luxating patellas, sore teeth, thyroid problems, epilepsy and seizures, ear infections, digestive issues, skin or environmental allergies, yeast infections, hearing loss, eyesight loss, and cancer. If aggression or another behaviour issue shows up suddenly, contact your vet or a dog behaviourist or a very good dog trainer. If aggression or another behaviour issue shows up suddenly, you really have to look very carefully at why. Don't assume that the dog is having a bad day. There's a good chance one of the other above health complaints or something related could be causing your puppy to be cranky. Genetic issues. Sometimes behaviour issues have genetic causes. Behaviours that range from aggression to hyperactivity can come down to what your dog inherited from its parents. Genetic issues tend to show up very young. An inconsistent environment. If you sometimes let your dog jump on you because you're wearing casual clothes, but at other times punish him away for jumping, how fair is this to your dog? Dogs do not know the difference in clothing. This pattern or lack of pattern in it is very confusing for them and can cause anxiety. It reinforces jumping or any other behaviour you are rewarding inconsistently. If you want your dog not to do something, be consistent by making that clear to him in a kind manner. There's only one time that dogs tend to recognise particular clothing. When I go to work, I wear certain clothes. When I'm putting on my dog training shoes, my bag, I'm packing a bag, I'm putting toys in it, I'm getting food arranged, those times they will connect with whatever you're wearing. All right. If your dog has a behaviour, if your dog jumps, for example, take time to practice sitting with positive reinforcement, providing something your dog likes, such as treats or play, immediately after the behaviour, and ignore your dog completely if he jumps. Ignoring your dog means no talking, no touching, no eye contact, as all are forms of attention and can reinforce behaviour you don't like. If your dog has a behaviour problem, look to yourself. How do you respond? There's an excellent chance you've been reinforcing the behaviour with attention and may have actually trained the dog to perform that behaviour. Even saying, no, 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 don't jump, is reinforcing to your dog and is very exciting. So you need to look hard at what you're doing, because everything you do influences what the dog does, what the puppy does. Having a consistent set of boundaries and consistent rules in your house helps your dog understand that the environment is predictable. It also shows your dog that you provide guidance, leadership, and access to all the good stuff. Consistent boundaries are difficult when you've got children, especially if children eat down on the floor, walking around. Puppy, that makes your life complicated with a puppy. Sometimes the child will squeal if the puppy comes up, so you have to manage that very carefully and make sure that your puppy understands some very simple commands or cues. All right, misunderstanding normal dog behaviour. Barking is a natural behaviour for some breeds. Stop smiling. We all know certain lines of dogs bark. Find a dog breed that's compatible to your lifestyle. These traits are due to selective breeding to perform a job or to natural canine behaviour. Sometimes you can train an alternative behaviour and sometimes you cannot. It depends on how genetically hardwired the behaviour is. In my breed there was an import who didn't have a lot of noise in my breed, and all of a sudden everything out of this import was so verbal it was driving us all nuts. There was a whine that started off low-pitched and built up into, I have to cover my ears. So it took a bit of breeding to get that out of the breed. Fortunately, we don't experience that so much now. Changes in routine. Changing the routine can be stressful for your puppy. Drastic changes in environment or routine can really throw them off, causing anxiety that's commonly expressed as problem behaviour. So if there's an illness in the family, if suddenly somebody has to, excuse me, somebody has to go away and that puppy's particularly attached to that person, that's when you find your puppy may start to worry and do things it's not done before. So be aware that changes in routine make life difficult for your dog. One thing I learnt very early on with my puppy was that they don't know what Christmas Day is when I wanted to sleep in. It's just every day. They know what goes on and they act accordingly. Changes in the diet has a huge influence on behaviour. Switching your dog's diet to something that doesn't agree with him may change how the dog acts. Always feed your dog a high quality diet and change foods gradually over a week. That would mean you do 80% normal, 20% new, a couple of days, see if there's a change. The next round of 3 days you do 40% normal, 60% old, 80%, 100%, but do your change in your diet very gradually and you'll find that the puppy won't develop upset tummies. All right, poor socialisation or negative socialisation. Socialisation is the process of providing your puppy positive, controlled exposure to other dogs, people of all types, sounds, surfaces and new experiences. Dogs need to be socialised to the human world, starting as young puppies and continuing throughout their lives. If a puppy doesn't get proper socialisation during this critical period, it can grow up into a shy, fearful or aggressive adult. A well-run puppy class can be a fun way to kickstart your dog's socialisation skills. Even a dog that has been well socialised can develop behaviour problems after negative experiences. And the number 10 is fear periods or adolescence. A lot of discussion about this currently. It's normal for puppies to go through several fear periods as their brains develop. It's like small children. If your puppy normally is fearless and turns shy, don't panic. It's normal for puppies to go through several fear periods as their brains develop. The first generally occurs somewhere around 8 to 12 weeks of age. Isn't that just when we take our new puppies home? And another period occurs at around 5 or 6 months of age, and again at 14 months. I have people ring me and say, I've got a puppy that's doing this, and the first question I ask is, how old is your puppy? Universally, I get 7 months or 14 months. I worked with a person who was taking a dog to Brisbane to show his dog at the Ekka. Very well socialised, winning a lot in the ring. As the puppy got to Brisbane, they opened the hatch of the airplane and the puppy jumped out. The crate had come undone during the flight and they had men in coats chasing, corralling, running, screaming, you go that way, you go that way, I'll grab him, and a rugby tackle to get the puppy. Now, the end result was that puppy was safe, but the damage to that puppy was amazing. We did some work over the phone for 3 days and the puppy went in and got puppy in group and came home, and we still had to work on a lot of behaviour issues after that. So that was a pretty extreme example of what can happen to a very young pup. This puppy was about 16 weeks old. So, you know, no, it was 6 months old, it was over into puppy. So these sort of things have a high impact on your puppies and you need to really react when something like that happens. All right, so now we might have the puppies come in and do some actual work. We're going to show you 10 different things. The first one will be a meet and greet. There's a huge amount of discussion about how puppies meet other puppies. So the meet and greet, the way we do it is I use an expression called say hello nicely. I put a piece of food in my right hand, I hold the lead in my left, and I'll say to somebody coming towards me, can you stop please? Can you put a piece of food in your right hand, hold your lead in your left hand, walk your puppy with the food at its nose up to my puppy's nose, count to 3, do an about turn and walk away. As you come up, just say hello nicely. We'll demonstrate that in a minute. Why do we do that? I'm going to let these 2 puppies have a box on before we start. So I want you to see A, what they're capable of, and B, how we actually change that behaviour. Then we're going to show you how to get a puppy to look at you. We're going to get a puppy to leave food. Put it in the hand, show them how to leave it and how to work to aim to get that food. Puppy to go on a platform and do sits and stands, cycling behaviours on a platform, which I call puppy push-ups. Some loose lead walking. The recall, I don't tend to say come to a baby puppy, I will tend to say here, and then I will transition that into my recall command of whatever it is. Crating, we can't do crating here. Sit for dinner and some grooming behaviour. We have a puppy that is a wriggle pot. She's a nightmare to brush and to groom. So we'll show you what that is and we'll show you how we're working on it. All right, so I think we can bring the puppies in now, Greg. I'm going to ask you all to pick up your chairs, move them out to the outside walls to give us this open floor space. And if you stay out here, if we can have quiet now, thank you. Everybody quiet. Just move away, Kate. Yeah, move away. Good. Karen, come up here. I'd like to introduce you to Karen Delves and her puppy Murphy. Thank you. Thanks, Karen, for bringing your puppy in. I know it's an impost on a lovely Saturday morning when you could be out training. And to Kate and Piper. Murphy is 11 weeks old and Piper's 9 months old. So we're going to show you the before and the middle. Now, we're going to let these puppies just say hello to each other. So just walk out here and let them do whatever they want to do with each other. All right, so this is what, just very close, let them say hello to each other. This is what normally happens. Okay, so this is a classic situation in a park, isn't it? Somebody comes towards you, their dog's out of control and your heart sinks. All right, now back up a little bit. Kate, if you can be here, and Karen, if you can be here, we're going to work across the room. Now, I'm going to ask Karen and Kate to put a piece of food in their right hand. In their right hand, that's the other one, yep. Right, the right hand. And hold the lead in the left hand quite short because we just need to manage this. It's not about pulling the lead, it's just about getting the lead out of the way. So we're not going to click or anything, we're just going to feed these puppies. So we're going to do a 3-second meet and greet. So both of you, I want you to ask each other, is it okay for your puppies to meet? Yes. Good. Walk forward, food in the front of the dog's face. Off you go. 3 seconds, nose to nose. 1, 2, 3, off you go. Good, lots of praise. Do that a couple of times now. And make sure you feed your puppies as you walk away. So food in front of the nose, walk towards each other and say hello nicely. Nice, walk away. Okay, so within 2 movements, what we've got is a really nice controlled meet and greet. If everybody in the universe did this, there would be no mugging of dogs in parks because neither of these puppies need to play with each other. In their life, they don't need to do that. But we need to be able to manage walking in a park, going down a street. Imagine there's a mother with a child and a baby, and you've got an out-of-control puppy. All right, so I want you now to just let them go and meet each other without doing any of this. Okay, so just let them go and meet. No food, just let them say hello. Okay, so instantly we revert into classic puppy interactions. That'll do. Now walk away again. And do it all again properly now. This is a 3-second meet and greet. Just get some food ready. Wait, just wait. Right hand food under the muzzle, 3-second meet and greet. Say hello nicely. And off you go. All right, so in a puppy class, this is the fastest, easiest way to teach dogs not to go and mug each other. They probably love to do it, but it's not a socially acceptable thing for us to do. All right, the next thing we're going to do is to show how you get the puppy to look at you. So Kate, if you face that way, and Karen, if you face that way, You face towards the window, yeah? Now, get your puppy to sit and... Good, just don't say anything. Bring it back again. Just be patient. Now, Karen's just going to click and feed when the puppy makes accidental eye contact. You're going to grab it the instant the puppy looks up. You may have to wait. Oh. Karen's just yelling at herself because she clicked when she didn't mean to. Good, grab that. And now feed it again 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And free. Okay, so Kate, come back over here. Come back over here. And you move just a bit further back, Karen. Now, we're going to show you an older dog who has had, hello my friend, who's had some experience of that. So just sitting. This little dog is learning to flip into the heel position, and that's become her default behaviour at the moment. She thinks everything is flip into heel position, so sitting. Good. Grab that. Quick, grab that. Too late. Just start again. Just wait now. Just wait. Grab that. Yes, and feed it. Wait again. And now we're going to start counting how many seconds we can get from initial eye contact. Okay, we have a grooming issue here, Piper. So bring it back around the front again. Shorten your lead up a wee bit, Kate. Just shorten your lead up a bit. Yes, we've definitely got something going on down there. Let's just get this right out of the way. All right, now bring it back in front. Just lure it. Good. Now hands up to your chest. Grab that. We're just going to ignore the bark. No, don't praise her when she's barking. Don't do that. Just don't do anything. Let her figure out that nothing happens until you come and do what you're supposed to do. Ask her to sit now. Stand up. Mark the... Oh. What is it they say? Never work with dogs and children? What are you feeding her, Kate? All right, now try again. Feed it quickly. Quick, feed it. Good. And keep feeding. Keep feeding. Keep feeding. And now just pause for a sec. Get the food ready. Pause for a second. Just wait. Wait. Grab it. Yes. Now we're going to stretch that just a little bit more if we don't remember we've got grooming issues. Grab that. And now tell her off you go. Free. All right, 9 months old, juvenile delinquent stage, but you can see the learning process. You need to be really careful that what you mark is what you reinforce and what you don't mark is what you don't reinforce. All right, so next thing we're going to have a go at is with Karen's puppy, so just relax Piper over here. Karen, I want you to take a piece of food in your hand and I want you to put it in front of her muzzle. Let her mug your hand. Yep. Try not to wince with those puppy teeth. Yep. Just turn around, face the camera. Yep. Sideways, so you're sideways this way. Just see if you can get her to sit. It's a lovely, intense smelling place, isn't it? Good girl. Now put your hand with the food in it like this at her muzzle and let her mug your hand until she stops mugging your hand. Then open it and give it to her. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. When she clearly backs away, open your hand and feed her. Yes. Now, good. Do that again. We're going to go for a little bit longer between the ceasing to mug your hand and before she gets it. Yes, good. And again.
Oh, need to reload.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Yes.
Now try for quite a lot longer next time because I think you can get that now. Shh, don't say yes. Wait, say nothing. Now. Yes. Good, now feed her again. And again. Good, and free.
Free.
Okay, just give her a relax for a sec. So while we're doing that, if you make sure that the puppy does not monster your hand, having 72-year-old skin, my skin's really easily damaged, and I really don't need a puppy. I don't need to wear the band-aids to tell you that I've got a puppy that's hard mouth. So by simply teaching the puppy to leave it without you saying anything, I don't want you to say, leave it, no, don't touch. Just simply wait. Let the puppy drive the behaviour. And then you reinforce very heavily when the puppy's got it. So once she's left it, you might feed her 1, 2, 3 times. You might feed her 4, 5, 6 times. You might feed her once again. So vary the amount of food that you give her and the frequency of the repetition. All right. Now we're also going to have a little bit of work on a platform. So if you relax Murphy, Karen and Kate, we're going to do some platform work. Grab your platform. Get hold of your platform. Now, this puppy's learning to be, Kate's already got 2 UDX obedience champions, and this is going to be the next one. So, do the recall. Do the recall. You stand here, bring her in and get her to sit on the platform. Why are we using a platform to do this? Simply because, actually just start with letting her touch the platform, Kate. Just mark her putting her feet on. Yeah. Turn around this way so the camera can see what you're doing. Oh, hello, my friend. All right, all Kate's waiting for is for Piper to put her feet on the platform, then she's marking and reinforcing platform. So we don't want to tell her to do that. We want her to figure it out all by herself, which makes your behaviour so much stronger than if you prompt and direct. All right, now just slow it down and keep her on the platform for a couple of seconds before you reinforce. Let her find it herself. Mark it and feed it. All right, try and have no foot movements. Remember, we're looking at a UDX dog. This is not general puppy training, this is competition training. Good, grab that. Now, tell her free, walk her away. Now this time, Kate's going to start, she's going to have the puppy over here, and Kate will be here. She's going to bring the puppy in and do a sit on the platform. So what we're going to get is a very close, very tucked sit. And Kate has a bit of a habit of leaning over, so I'm going to keep reminding her to stand up nice and straight. All right, so this is a recall onto the platform. I'll hold the lead.
You hold the lead.
Yeah.
Piper.
Just because Piper might decide to come and say hello to all of you,
Everybody.
being a social little butterfly. So you go over go over the other side.
Wait.
And when you're ready, just wait.
Sit.
Just back up a little bit. Back up a little bit yourself. Yep.
Sit.
Use the food, lure it to get it up on the platform.
Oh, you want to...
Yep, that's it. Good, good.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll try that again.
We both know that.
Come on, sweetness. Don't jump on me. Oh, there. Miss Social Butterfly. All right, let's try that again. I'll just line her up so she's a bit straight. All right, you call her when you're ready. And just work at it. Keep going until you get what you want. Step back a tiny bit maybe to bring her up a little bit more. Step back a little bit to bring her up a bit more.
Yeah, but then she'll come.
Yeah, that's cool. That's all right. That'll do. Yep, good girl. Good girl. Let's try it again. Come here, babe.
Come on, Bob.
Good girl. All right, a little bit closer maybe. Yeah. Let's try that once more. Never work with children and animals. All right, when you're ready. Good, mark that and feed it. Pick up the lead and say free. Now, we're using a small platform for a very good reason. We want to make the puppy very foot aware of where those confines of the platform are. We could use a longer platform, but by encouraging her to really tuck herself in, those of you that do competition obedience, you never want a dog that sits then rolls back. So this is to encourage the puppy to do a skip sit, to keep its front up here and to bring its rear end in tight and close. It means that your recalls are absolutely brilliant. All right, so do you want to work with Murphy a little bit on the platform? Same thing, Karen? Have you got enough food in your pocket? I sure do. Need some more? Can somebody go into the fridge, please, and bring me out the 3 little buckets of food? All right, now this puppy only yesterday learned what a platform is. So walk away. This is just familiarity with the platform. Karen's not directing it. Thank you, good man. Take her off. Good, multiple reinforcements to really value add her being foot on the platform. Don't, Karen? Camera. That's it. Yeah. Now this is a free will exercise, so we're not telling the puppy to go onto the platform. We're just putting it in front of her so that she can, and then we're taking that behaviour and marking and reinforcing it. Good job, Karen. Even if she stepped off again, the click was when her feet were on it. So reinforce as quick as you can go. Walk backwards again. Up, up. Just pop the food in front of her nose to get her attention back. She's discovered I've got 3 buckets of food up here. So a bird in the hand. Bird in the hand's definitely worth 2 in the bush. Right, so Karen's now just clicking and reinforcing everything that's an interaction with that platform. How good is her nose? I took the cover off. Yes. So do you want some of my chicken? Bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. There you go. Grab it.
Oh, God. It's mega size.
I know. It's also good value. So we've just moved to a higher reinforcement. All right, so just play with the platform. Don't pull the lead, just invite her to come with you, that's it. So this is a little bit of a combination of prompting, luring and shaping. She's only 11 weeks old. And you can see the progression now. Do you think she knows what going onto that platform is now? She doesn't know it completely, but she's more than willing to stay on there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, once she's on there, bring her off and then bring her on again, and I want you to reinforce 4 or 5 times, and then I want you to say free and take her away. All right, 1, click again, 2, keep doing it, and free. Yes. Yeah, did you notice that she preferred to stay there because that was really, really high value, wasn't it? So you see that... Gorgeous, yeah, she's gorgeous. All right, now take her quite a distance away so she can't get back to the platform. What Karen's just done is create a want in the puppy. So the puppy prefers to go to the platform rather than come and engage with everybody else, sniff the floor. So this is not, Karen is special and the puppy's special, but this is not special. This is what you can do with a baby puppy if you start really early, and what she's learning now stays with her for life, absolutely for life. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of puppy push-ups. So I'm going to take the platform away, and I want Kate, where are you? Come up, we're going to do some puppy push-ups. Yeah? Puppy, yeah, we're going to do it here on the floor. Yeah, come around. Yep, yep. I'm just going to shift the platform because Piper loves her platform. All right, so, Kate, face the window, put her in front of you. And this dog is going to be doing UDX, so it's very important that she not move. Yeah, so it's very important that she not move while she's making these movements. She has to sit tucked in, she has to pop up into a stand, and she has to lie down in a very, yes, I know. This is Mr. Hello, my friend. This is Cole's $20 a kilo chicken loaf, Moira Max chicken loaf. It's very good in your hands. Take quite a bit and put it in your pockets. It's very good in your hands, and it's totally and absolutely easy to deal with. I hate disgusting food. I won't have that in my pockets. And I try to feed my dogs human food as much as I can rather than other rubbish. All right, so remember the camera's over there. So bring her in front. Now, what we're going to do, you won't be able to see, I'm sorry, from behind. Just pick up that bit on the floor. Anybody that ever says they've never dropped any food on the floor is not telling the truth, including me. So sit, stand, drop. Just cycle her through them.
Stand.
Feed it. Reload. Feed it, reload, and sit. Just do it again. Yep. We'll all do that. And now cycle through. Sit, stand, drop. Okay. Right, now feed her and free. Feed her and free. Okay, so she's a bit of a 9-month-old juvenile delinquent, but she is a very, very happy little dog who we are really creating a trial dog here. This is not necessarily for home training. That home training is a different thing, but if you want to do competition obedience, you need to think about that. Okay, we're going to do some recalls now with Karen's puppy. As she comes in the door. Okay, fistful of chicken. That was a high value food, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
All right, we're going to do some recalls. So what I'm going to just hold her back and you're going to call her and bring her into front and sit. Oh, you're very good at getting your foot in there, aren't you? So if you go over there. And I don't want you to say, this way. I don't want you to say come. I just want you to say here and bring her in front. Don't care how she sits as long as she comes. When you're ready. Yeah. And just wait till she sits and feed her. Good girl. Hold her lead so she can't go and visit everybody. Now let's do that again. You go over the other side of the room. Yeah. Yes. Lovely puppy. All right, pick up the lead and tell her free. Why are we saying free? Why are we just not just continuing to work? Because dogs need a start point, they need a middle point, and they need an end point. If we just continually train, you overload a puppy, they shut down and they don't learn very well. So start, middle, and finish. And that allows the puppy to just think, sniff, look around, be a dog for a minute or two until you decide to do your next lot of training. All right. Grooming behaviour. Kate's puppy. Where are you, Kate? Kate? This little puppy, we're just going to pick her up and I want you to see how difficult she is to actually hold. So put your food away, just pick her up. She is one very busy little puppy. Pick her up? Yeah, just pick her up. Just watch what happens. Taken a fair bit of work to get that, let me tell you, because she struggles like you wouldn't believe, does not want to be up there. Right, pop her down again. And now try and pick her up the other way. Just try and pick her up from anywhere, rather than the way you did it. Just wrap your arms around her body and try and pick her up. No, there, yeah. So pop her down. Okay, so can you see the difference in the way Kate actually picked the pup up? It was a good grip underneath the body and just let her relax. Now, all of my German short-haired pointers would do exactly the same thing. They don't understand being picked up and manipulated, so we need to teach them how to do that. So Kate, if you put some food in your hand, put a bucket of food in your hand, and now I want you to just a little bit at a time start to pick her up. So put the food in your other hand. I'll hold the lead if you like. You go in front of her. And you notice Kate didn't acknowledge that jumping, she just simply waited until it stopped. Cheeky. Right, come up to her and feed her and just touch her around the shoulder. Other hand, touch her around the shoulder, good. Feed her again. Free one. Touch her around the body. Feed her. Start to pick her up, but don't pick her up. Just put your arm around her. Remember the camera's where your rear end is, Kate. Good. Kate, turn this way. That's it. Now, start to progressively feed and pick her up. All right, so this is a desensitisation routine. See how calm she is now? Whereas before, she was really struggling like crazy. Have you run out of food? Have you run out of food?
No.
Yeah. All right, so what we're doing is we're breaking the behaviour down into little tiny pieces. First it's just feed her, then it's feed touch, feed move your hands down, slowly progress to picking her up. Because not too many puppies really like to just be picked up, unless of course you're the type of person that has them on the couch, not that I do, and the dog wraps itself around you and is really enjoying that sort of a cuddle. So starting from very small beginnings up to a really relaxed dog who you can take anywhere and do anything with. It all starts around about here. All right, we're going to do a little bit of sit for dinner now. So if you stay there and you put her at heel. Now this is about the ultimate challenge, isn't it? No, don't say anything. Just don't do anything. Just hold your lead. Hold the lead. Free. And that's enough. Thank you very much. Okay, so dinner time is not a time to be out of control. All I did was withdraw my offer. It was there, she wanted it, clearly she wanted it. Just move around a bit, Kate, come over here a bit. So what she learnt in a very short time is that when I offer the food, she doesn't necessarily get it until I say the releasing word. And you use whatever word you want, but it really encourages me to make sure that the puppy is not jumping around and out of control at dinner time. Dinner time is probably the best time in a dog's life, barring nothing, because if they don't eat, they die. So there's a very strong drive to live in dogs, of course, as with us. All right. Is there anything anybody wants to see us demonstrate with this puppy? Something you want to see? Nothing? What about the pulling away from?
Yeah, constantly trying to run away from what?
Okay, loose lead walking.
Walking.
Yeah, not heeling, just loose lead walking. Yeah. All right, what I want you to do, Kate, is start walking towards the crowd. Take a fistful of that. Start walking towards the crowd and just stop when she starts to pull. Turn away and feed her for turning away. Go towards the crowd. Just wait, don't do anything. Now feed her. Walk away and go and meet somebody else. Now. Okay, go and meet somebody else over here. Just make sure you... Oh, what did we find? Grass? And we ate it too. That's a good source of chlorophyll. All right, so what we're doing is just letting the puppy experiment. We don't want to say to her no and leave it. And as soon as she walks away, Kate, say yes and feed her. No, don't help her. Don't help her, Kate. Kate, don't help her. This could take some time. Good girl. Now pick somebody else. Now pick somebody else. Just ignore the puppy. I know it's hard when she's climbing on you. She says, I give you kisses. All right, now we're going to manage that a little bit more. That's step one. Yeah, waiting until the dog disengages, then reinforcing that. Now you're going to cue it a bit, Piper, and bring her away. So go and pick somebody else down here. Give her about 2 seconds and then call her away. Mark it and feed it. Good. Pick somebody else. So all we're doing is saying that Kate is much more interesting than anything any of you've got. Sort of. Miss Social Butterfly. All right, now we're going to start, Kate. Now we're going to start doing a bit of loose lead walking around. Just move around. Anytime she's with you, mark and feed it. Anytime she's not, don't say anything. All right, just walking, Kate. Change direction. Change direction. Yep. And mark and feed that. Change direction again. And feed that. And feed that. Oop, missed it. Turn around again. So what we're not saying is heel or walk or any of those words, we're just moving. Good. As soon as she turns back to you, mark it and feed it. All right, that'll do, Kate. Thank you. Now, Karen, we're going to do the same thing with Murphy. Now, this is a much higher challenge because this is a 11-week-old puppy. So you're just going to walk around, grab her attention and feed her. I'll get that. Leave it. I'll do it. Yeah. Grab that. Quick, quick, quick. Too slow. Make sure when she looks at you or turns in your direction that you mark and reinforce it. Just call her away, Karen. Pop, pop. Girl. Keep going. Just keep doodling around. Yep, yep. Keep walking, keep moving. Bags are great, aren't they? All right, now up your rate of reinforcement, Karen. Feed faster. Can we have you each week here, please? Because this is a wonderful training setup. And again, as soon as she looks at you, feed her. Yes, good job. And keep moving. Turn around, go back the other way. Now start doing a little bit of formal walking. Just do a couple of left turns. Feed that. Sorry, we can't eat and walk at the same time. Oh, more grass. Right, so can you see that the lead is not what's driving the puppy? Need to be really careful of pulling a puppy to make it do what you want. I want this puppy to want to be with Karen, to be very happy to move. And is there anybody in this room that says they've never dropped food when they're training a dog? Put your hands up. Oh, gee, no hands went up. We all do it, but just forgive yourself and try and do it better. Now, what we're getting is a really nice, just controlled walk with the pup. Nice work, Karen. That was Piper just saying, I want to get in on the act too. All right, so now we've gone from being highly, highly investigative to really concentrating on Karen. Beautiful. And tell her now free and just relax her. All right, I think we're ready to go to questions. Anybody have any questions on what we've done?
Sorry, so if you've got a group of 5, 7 puppies and you're trying to do this exercise,
Yes.
would you just separate
Spread.
them?
Spread. Lots of room.
One-on-one?
Yes, lots of room.
Just repeat the question.
The question was, if you're working in a class with a group of puppies, how do you manage that? You just spread out. Give them plenty of room, and as they get better, you bring them a little closer, a little closer, a little closer, until you get all the good interactions under control. Yeah. So you saw with Karen's puppy, she was just, wow, look at all these wonderful people I can go and kiss. And that's a really nice thing. It's not necessarily friendly things that some dogs do in classes as well, but it works in the same fashion. The faster you reinforce, the heavier your reinforcement is, and then when you start to get it, you back the reinforcement down a bit, so you get more for less. Otherwise, you're going to have to carry this everywhere you go, yeah? So you don't want to be food dependent. Ultimately, you want the dog to work just because you're asking it to. Praise it, reinforce at times, toys, food, whatever floats the puppy's boat, yeah? So you change to multiple types of reinforcers. Yeah? Anybody else got a question?
What about grooming?
The question is, how do we teach a puppy grooming? You saw with Kate's dog Piper that we first started just touching and then touching further. So it's a question of spreading those behaviours out. You don't do it all at once on any one day. You start with your baby puppy just getting it engaged with the food, and you pat it at the same time. And then you engage with the food, pat more around the body. So enlarge it. Just start from here to get to here, but don't do it all in the one training session. Make sure you break it down, do little short training sessions, free with the puppy, and then you start again. Yeah? Questions?
What about a puppy will bite all the time?
Biting puppies, isn't that the source? Oh yeah,
Kids because they do.
of course. And the first thing kids do is this.
Yeah.
And small children have very low motor skills. At, say, a 4-year-old that runs and screams and puts their hands up, they're going to fall over. And that's, wow, such a good thing for the puppy to go jump on them, and that increases the fear in a child. So puppies biting is a real pain. They have these tiny sharp teeth and they want to exercise those teeth. So if you provide good chewing for the puppy, a cold carrot is great for a teething puppy. Anything that has got good crunchability. So there's lots of toys that puppies can chew on. So how do you teach the puppy not to bite? The same exercise we did with the food in your hand. You put the food there, you know, cover your hand. Let the puppy realise that if it dives on the food, it doesn't get it. That's step 1. What's step 2? You up the ante a bit. You get the puppy a tiny little bit excited, then you go back to doing this again. Some people will say to you, get hold of the puppy and shake it. If you do that, there is a high likelihood you'll damage the retinas in the dog's eyes. You never, ever shake a puppy, or a child for that matter. So you cannot, no, don't do that. So you simply start with a very small thing, like teaching the puppy to self-control. Now, I know there's going to be times when the puppy is outrageous. It's usually half an hour before dinner. The phone rings, husband says, I want you to do this, I need a shirt ironed, you've got a very delicate cooking procedure going on, and the children come up demanding stuff. That's not the time to be trying to train your puppy. That's when crates work really well for you. So if you can put the puppy into a nice calm space, iron the shirt, finish cooking the dinner, attend to the children, have them sitting down, everything's calm, bring the puppy out again. Yeah? Yeah, there are times when it's just simpler to put a puppy in a crate when it's getting outrageous. Unless you've got the time to actually work with a puppy then, don't attempt that. Set yourself up to be successful. Don't set yourself up to fail. And babies, when they're teething, oh man, they can have the sharpest little teeth. So manage that. Teach the puppy not to bite. Now, there's a lot of discussion about, let's say a puppy bites you. One of the discussions is you go, ow! And you move away. Well, any of my dogs that you did that to would probably be about up here if I said ow and threw my hands up and moved away. Yeah, so some puppies that works. If you can get the ow into it, that works with some puppies. Other puppies, it just excites them right off their brain. So you have to know your puppy a little bit, know what will work. I usually just interrupt the behaviour into the crate. So when the puppy's having a crazy time, I don't want to try and deal with the puppy biting me. I want the pup to calm down, then I'll bring it out and do some of the sort of work that we've done so that I can get the puppy learning and not biting.
You can say ow, but make sure you don't do this.
Well, some dogs, when you say ow, they think that's a game. Yeah? So you do have to sound pained when you do that, like, ow! Yeah, so that can work. But again, look, different puppies, different methods. So puppy biting is probably the biggest problem in a family, isn't it? When you've got small children.
Something else like a toy, but then that's awarding the dog for
You're hyping the dog up too, so you're trying to calm the dog. So what I would suggest you do is train the puppy to lie down. Yeah, just have a very good strong drop so that you can get the pup to lie down and you can interrupt the behaviour and be very calm yourself. The more excited you are, the more excited the puppy gets, the more excited the children are. My children were taught to stand still, just go inert, just stop. Puppy would jump a bit and they go, you're no fun, and then go with a toy outside into the crate. Any of those alternatives. When the puppy is in that state of mind, if you grab it, hold it, shake it, tick it off, it doesn't help you. It doesn't train the dog in a way that I would want to train my dog. So I want the calmness, I want the crating, and I want them relaxed. So I have a mat in my lounge or wherever, and my timeout, if you want to call it like we call children's timeouts, that's a punisher though, isn't it? I want to send my puppy to a mat and let it relax. So if the puppy's starting to get overexcited, I'll take it over to the mat, I'll get it to lie down, and I'll feed the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. By that time, the puppy's had a fair bit of food and it's relaxing a bit, and then I'll just say free again. If the puppy's still crazy, go back to the mat. So the mat as a station training thing is just wonderful. Every house should have a place where the dog can retire to and just relax. Yeah? So you need to take the bubble machine down, let the puppy relax, and then you might pop it outside, you might give it a bone outside, I wouldn't want to play toys with it when you're trying to calm the puppy down, but certainly distract and redirect the puppy in any way that you can. Yeah? I'm not sure that's a definitive answer, but yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lee, can I just go back to the loose-lead walking?
Yes.
Realistically, we don't have puppies, we have puppies outside
Yep.
on grass in the class.
Yep.
Doing that loose-lead walking, when you said break off into groups, they're going to have a puppy in their hand.
Yep.
Are you expecting that we would they all have crates and they put their puppy away while we interact and do that loose-lead walking?
So do you do that at the club?
Well, our puppy class is not inside.
Okay,
It's
or outside, yeah.
Everyone's standing there with their puppy.
So
How do you do the loose-lead walking, taking the dog up to groups of people, they've got a puppy with them?
you don't do that to start with. Yeah? Step one. Step one. The puppy's got to learn to just interact with it. The question is, when you've got a puppy class and you've got a number of puppies there and they want to sniff the ground, they want to jump all over the place, they get very overexcited, what do? How do you get that loose lead walking going? Is that it?
But you're saying how we're doing this here now, when I ask all the people to not put their dogs in the car,
Yeah.
looking at one dog at a time.
On a hot day, that can be really dangerous though, can't it? So how do you manage them on a hot day?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that exercise of moving around with a group of people,
Yep.
my people would all have, everyone would have a dog beside them.
Yep.
So the dogs are going to be going up to the other dogs.
Not necessarily. If it's a group of adult dogs, you're saying?
No puppies.
A group of puppies, some of the puppies are going to be really easy, some of the puppies are going to be wired up out of their brains, and some of the puppies are going to be anxious, nervous, fearful. So you can't necessarily do what we just did here unless you've got a very controlled circumstance with just one dog. Yeah. So what you would do in the class is everybody spread out. Get some attention back from the puppy, go a little bit closer, move away. Go a little bit closer, move away. Always sub-threshold. So if you go over a threshold and the puppy explodes, you've just put yourself on a hiding to nowhere. Yeah? So you need to manage just the loose lead walking, moving around. I did a thing in a pet barn, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say the name, where there was, the challenge for me was to get dogs that are out of control in shopping in the store and get them walking on a loose lead. And a West Highland White Terrier, who I just adore this breed, he was so smart. He had his owners wrapped right around his little paw. So what I got them to do was just to walk, drop a piece of food over here, the puppy went and got it, turn away. Drop a piece of food here, puppy went and got it, turn away. By the time we did that a number of times, I couldn't get rid of him. He didn't want the food on the floor. He didn't want to go investigate the chew bones on the shelves. He didn't want to worry about all the other dogs in the store. I simply fed the ground, and as he looked up, I clicked and fed him again on the ground. Looked up, clicked, fed him again on the ground. Now you can do that in a class. Yeah, just spread your puppies out. Make sure, say to everybody, keep your distance between each of the other dogs, and it does work in a class. Now, if you've got very long grass, that's a challenge. Because if you've got a baby puppy, you want very small pieces of food, so manage it, yeah? You could do it with a toy if you want. You could just drop the toy and bring the puppy back up to you, swap the puppies for food, drop the toy again. The puppy will dive on the toy, bring it back to you, swap for food. So there's a lot of different methods that you can use to get the puppy to really interact with the owner. But to start with, it's chaotic. Absolutely chaotic. Like if I had 10 puppies in here and all these people, it would be really quite hard to do, which is why I've elected to have only 2 puppies in here, because I can control the circumstances, yeah? So placing the food on the ground is another good way, but you might lose the food in the long grass too. So can you see that I use this chicken loaf? It's quite easy to see. A lot of exercises I do, I'll throw food away and then bring the puppy back. So this is absolutely brilliant to work with, but darker colours doesn't work. Then you've got a puppy going off scrounging, and the last thing I want to do is have the puppy disconnect from me and go hunting for food. I want it to grab it, come back to me and expect some more. Yeah? Does that answer your question? Yeah, thank you.
Robert?
Yeah, sorry.
Lee, how would you then adapt what you've already taught us when the dog is excited to meet somebody to when the smell of the grass is more exciting than anything? So how do you then adapt it for...
Question is, when the dog wants to sniff the ground and the ground is much more valuable than any food or any reinforcement that you can give? Is that your question? Yeah. Okay, you can put on a persona. Go crazy. Oh, come on, let's go over here. Come on, let's go. You know, as soon as the puppy responds, feed it. Now, 95% of that will work. 5% of it won't, especially if the puppy is not food driven. If the puppy is maybe feeling a bit off, if the puppy is worried about some other dogs and it won't eat food in front of other dogs because it's a little bit nervous, then that would be a toy. That would be something that's a little bit tuggable. So I can use a tuggy toy instead of the food. Yeah, I can swap the tuggy toy for food, take it away, give it back. But if you've got a puppy who's so shut down that it can't take food and it can't interact, the puppy needs to come out of that class and it needs to have some little one-on-one training, boost its confidence and then try again. And I know that's not easy in a class, is it? You've got however many people. So start with, try tossing the food on the ground. If the puppy is nervous and worried, try and engage it with some sort of tugging. If it won't do either of those things on the day, set the owner a little pattern of training to do at home. Give them some homework. Yeah? So then you bring a hungrier puppy to class, you don't feed it its breakfast. Yeah? So there's a whole lot of little strategies that will go to make up your big picture. But you have to, as an instructor, you take your life in your hands when you say to somebody, I don't want you to feed your puppy for breakfast. Most of brand new people will say, what? You know, don't give it its breakfast. The puppy is not going to die for 2 hours if it doesn't get breakfast, and it can have the rest of the breakfast at the end of the training session. So if you can make the dog a bit ingestively keen and try various sort of things. Most of my dogs love to tug because I've trained that right from the word go. Yeah, it's tug release when I say, not when the puppy nicks off and wants to play keepings off with a tuggy toy. So I do it on the lead but not using the lead, just so I can control the interaction. And it's not easy in a class, is it? All right, but you're a good instructor, you have ammunition, you have information, you can get that.
So then you can apply, so my specific question was about, I've got a gun dog who even at our level of training still finds everything to smell far more attractive.
Yep.
Even more so than people. So exactly the same as what you've just said then, apply to an adult.
Yeah, it's absolutely the same whether it's an 8-week-old puppy or whether it's a 10-year-old dog. The second part of the question was hyper-excited gun dog, massive sniffer, has an agenda of all of its own. Yeah. So again, I would just reduce the dog's food intake to make the dog hungry enough to work for me. I would find some food that the dog loved. Now, the weirdest things dogs like. I've had cheese heads who will work for nothing but cheese. I've had, Kate's got a wonderful recipe, a tuna recipe, that makes into a little cake that you dry bake and you slice it up. So there's so many different types of food that you can tempt your puppy with. So experiment with what works for that particular pup. And I would suggest that you do very short sessions. because you're going to get a window where the puppy will do what you ask it to do, and then that window closes. So you take the puppy out of class, let it have a sniff, let it have a walk around, bring it back in. So as good instructors, you would say to anybody, look, your puppy's just over, it's just gone over the ledge. Take it away, give it a bit of a walk. It may want a toilet, it may need a drink. So don't be afraid of losing control of your class by saying to somebody, take your puppy for a walk. Just give it a bit of downtime, let it sniff, let it do wander around, bring it back in for this amount of time again, take it out again. Can feel a bit chaotic when your class is coming and going, but you're not going to get anything out of a dog whose brain is over there. So you need to just make sure that you can get a small window and take advantage of that window. All right. Can we do one more question, Sue? Can we do one more question?
If it's quick.
Quick question. Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's quick. Barking. Now, we've got some dogs in class that will just bark and bark and bark in class. And also, a lot of people ask us about how can they stop the dog barking in the backyard or whatever. So that's two, barking
Okay,
in class
that's
and
a long answer that I don't want to gloss over. Barking, when you pay attention to barking, so the minute you say, shh, quiet, the dog goes, good, that got me some attention. Your crate's your friend, pop your dog in the crate with a chew bone of some sort and let it just relax. Now, outside barking is a whole topic that I can't get into now.
in class we don't have crates around. So
Yeah,
we
that's,
stand in the middle of an oval.
Yeah, keep your class moving. Short, fast, keep it moving. Make sure that you're engaging the dogs. Do quick, stop, quick, stop. And you'll find that the barking will reduce. If you stand and you talk at people for a very long time, they tend to, their eyes glaze, the dog starts to play up. So you as an instructor have to have the skills to keep the class moving, to keep the dogs engaged. And I'm not trying to gloss over that. I know it's not an easy thing to do, but there are so many strategies that you can use to keep the class engaged. I will not work a class for longer than 4 or 5 minutes without I say, everybody break, let your puppies have a sniff, go for a wander, you've got about a minute, bring them back in again and let's see how we go. If I've got a particularly difficult puppy, I might say to the owner, look, don't continue, let's just stop now and I'm going to talk to you afterwards and we'll set some strategies. Yeah? Sometimes you can't hold the whole class while you discuss a complicated strategy. So, but make sure you do get the answer to that person and make sure you explain to the class the following week what you did and see how the puppy's going. All right, can I just please thank Kate and Karen for bringing their babies in. We're going to see these puppies in the high competition rings very shortly, aren't we, Karen? Yes, we are. All right, thank you everybody for being so patient.
Thank you very much, Lee. We're going to have a chat. Closely as possible to where it was when you came in. And we will start again at 10:45.